I'm a sister. I'm also a wandering bard, troubadour of sorts, a balladeer, a singer of great tales of wondrous stories and heroes, and also disreputable villains. Good or bad, it's all a part of life, and he makes the sun shine and rain to fall upon both. But that doesn't mean I have to like them all, because some more. Allow me to show you rather than tell you a story of two men. Well, a story of one man, the grand hero, and the other, a skunk, the grandest and smelliest warrior. And here is our hero. And here is our skunk. Skunk of the grandest, smelliest order. A skunk whose smell everyone in England has come to disdain. Everyone, that is, but King John is also a skunk of the grandest and smelliest order.
So you lazy laggard, poaching again in the king's forest?
No, my lord sheriff, you have been misinformed.
Misinformed? Oh, do say. Dare you accuse one of the king's soldiers of making a false accusation?
No, no!
Or perhaps of lying?
No!
Or then trying to fabricate about deeds that never happened? And perhaps you weren't carrying a bow at the time the king's soldiers caught you crawling on your belly through Sheriff Forest, crawling on your belly like a thief.
Or were you crawling to avoid being caught as you plotted to steal from our good king?
Which is it?
I wasn't plotting against our king. I was only trying to feed my family, my wife, and 7 children. My lord sheriff, I'm a very poor man. England's full of poor men.
And that is no reason to break the king's law by poaching the king's deer in the king's forest.
So I could hardly grow enough food on my tiny parcel of land, and the king has 100,000 acres in his forest.
The king has what God gave him through the divine right of the kings.
If God has given our king so much, then why should our kingdom have even more from us poor peasants?
Your meager taxes, you sluggard, support the king's army.
Why does the king need my farthings to support his large army?
Silence!
But my lord sheriff, surely you have asked yourself the same question. Why does King John need such a large army? We are not at war.
A large army keeps England out of war.
No, my lord sheriff, a large army only eats.
I said silence. Our king's army must be large and must be strong to preserve England and take back the Holy Land in the Crusades.
But what of? Oh, rather the island presumes already, and the Crusades are the monks' wars. Why not let the monks in the monasteries fight the Crusades?
Because if our king's army doesn't fight in the Holy Land, those infidels in Jerusalem soon will be in London.
I doubt that very much, my lord sheriff. Those camel-riding infidels are from the desert. They would never like our islands with us. It's too cold and much too rainy here for those desert people.
Silence, sluggard. You have been accused of stealing deer and not paying your taxes.
I wanted only one deer to feed my family. One deer will last my family months. And the king, he has so many deer in his forest.
And if every family in England poached and killed just one deer every month in Sheriff Forest, soon the king would have no deer. And what would happen then?
Then I'm afraid that our king would starve, just as his subjects are now starving.
You are starving because you are lazy.
One man can do only so much, and our taxes are too high. We must give most of what we grow to the king, and still he demands more.
That is not my concern, wretch. You have been caught stealing deer and I sentence you to death.
You see, the sheriff of Nottingham, the king's representative in our married part of England, which is not so merry right now. is the most cruel and cold-hearted about. Though he screams of his loyalty to the king, the truth is, he steals part of every collection of the king's tax and dines on the finest young venison. For every deer the sheriff's men kill in the king's forest, another poor farmer is executed for the sheriff's own crimes. But now, to share more of the story with you. Remember, you are in England in the last half of the 12th century. The tyrant King John sits on the throne he has greedily stolen from his own brother, good Prince Richard, who is now off far away from home fighting in the Crusades. Our people are very poor, and they need Robin Hood, an outlaw, who robs the rich to help the poor.
These peasants who think they can just walk into Sherwood Forest and walk out one of the king's deer, scot-free, and think I, Sheriff of Nottingham, wouldn't notice. Think I, protector of the king's forest, wouldn't do anything about their illegal poaching. I will not allow that to continue. I demand the king's law to be upheld.
But my Lord Sheriff, your men cannot possibly stand every part of Sherwood Forest, every moment of every day.
Well said, my Lord Dunstan, as if I didn't already know that.
The problem then is how do we discourage local farmers from hunting in Sherwood Forest?
To the pillory with these worthless sluggards.
The pillory, my Lord Sheriff?
Yes, the pillory, that these lazy, shiftless, fly-bin peasants who dare take their crossbow into Sherwood Forest pay for their crimes.
But, my Lord Sheriff, you cannot possibly have every poor English peasant.
My Lord Sheriff, you cannot. Poor English peasants publicly humiliated and executed.
But it is the king's law.
And good King John.
May God save our
You
king.
cannot possibly have every poor English peasant executed either.
And why not?
We would pay the taxes.
Well said, my Lord Dunstan.
The issue here is not paying taxes. I will see that every servant in Nottinghamshire pays taxes. The issue here is the illegal poaching of the king's deer, and I will not permit that.
And King John, what would he not permit? Neither you nor good King John to keep demanding England's poor peasants keep paying such high taxes.
Listen to you, a representative of the church, with such hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy, sire.
Yes, hypocrisy. You clergy demand every bit as many shillings from England's poor peasants, Sunday after Sunday, offering after offering.
Oh, perhaps we do, my Lord Sheriff. After all, operating God's church, feeding the hungry, housing the homeless, clothing the naked. These works of charity take money we receive graciously from England's peasants. But the difference is, England's peasants may decide not to give money to God's church and suffer no consequences. But if they decide not to pay taxes to King John, you want each and every one of them dragged before the public.
Your words, sister, sound treasonous.
To you, my Lord Sheriff, who is always searching for a higher position in the king's court, every word sounds treasonous.
Enough! You serve the king!
We also serve God.
At King John's pleasure.
And the will of God.
Whatever, no matter. You must still be loyal to King John.
We are loyal.
Most loyal to King John, and I assure you every good churchman in England is loyal to those he serves, considering more fully the needs of his people.
The needs of his people? What about the needs of the king? King John, after all, is our protector.
Is he?
Sisters, you sound more treasonous with every word you speak.
We serve a king who seems deaf to the hungry stomachs of his own people, while seeming only to care about filling his own purse and the purses of those arrogant individuals who surround him.
You two sisters can take a trip to the pillory.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Whichever you prefer.
What I prefer to hear is compassion for the poor peasants who are in need of food and clothing.
If you care so much for these lazy ne'er-do-wells, why don't you give them your food, your clothing?
We already have, sire.
And they still clamor for more?
There's such a great need and we have so little.
But the church has so much hidden away, deep inside your monasteries.
And we of the clergy are most graciously and generously giving as much as we are able, but we must have King John's help.
And to have that, you must have his favor.
Which you have.
Because I serve good King John, and in serving good King John, I serve all of England.
While lining your own pocket.
Listen to the kettle calling the pot black.
Unfortunately, many wrongs still exist in England.
I suppose they do. But the most vile of wrongs is the illegal poaching of the king's deer in Sherwood Forest.
But they are not King John's deer.
They graze in King John's forest.
And that makes them King John's deer.
First of all, my Lord Sheriff, they are God's deer. They roam the countryside freely, and I dare say they have been here in England longer than you or King John were.
Perhaps, but they are now in Sherwood Forest, which makes them property of King John.
Those deer leaped into Sherwood Forest only because they observed no man-made boundaries. Sherwood Forest, those same deer which you call King John's deer become once again God's deer.
And I am certain, very certain, that if the deer knew about the boundaries and understood the meaning of the borders, they'd much rather belong to God than the entire King John.
Treason!
My Lord Sheriff, how can a deer commit treason?
Not the deer, you!
You would accuse me, a sister of the Church, of treason, when it is you who steal from the very taxes you collect?
You, sisters, will pay for your treason.
Perhaps, and surely someday, my Lord Sheriff, you will meet a higher judgment which I will entrust will be much more merciful and understanding than you.
Perhaps, but I will wait for that day.
It will come.
Until then, I shall remain representative for good King John, and I will put an end to the illegal killing of his deer, no matter who or how many get executed.
Then may God truly have mercy on your iniquitous soul.
You see, is it not just as I told you? A skunk. And you're about to see how this skunk and his men
Became an outlaw because of these disgusting people.
You see, originally, Robin Hood's name was Robin Hood, and young Robin was the handsome and valiant son of Hugh Fitzooth, who was also a very brave man.
Together, they served the true King of England, Richard the Lion-Hearted. But alas, Richard the Lion-Hearted was, as I have already told you, far away from home in the Holy Land fighting the infidels.
And while he was away fighting for the glory and valor of Christendom, his wicked and selfish brother, Prince John, had taken the throne, to the horror of us all.
Imagine, the sisters trying to claim the deer in this forest don't belong to the king.
It is better said the sisters are trying to remain on both sides of the fence.
Both sides of the fence.
The political fence. Our sisters must be a good friend to the peasants, so those foolish serfs will continue to drop their shillings and farthings.
Into a silver offering place.
Exactly. But as the king's sisters, must also appear to be a good friend to King John to keep
Their position. How convenient.
how difficult. No man can serve two masters. Sister's own scripture tells them that.
So we wait.
Wait.
For the sisters to make a mistake, and then
But King John, what would he think?
he'll agree with me, Sir God,
Agree with you?
when I tell him just how many deer the church is poaching from Sherwood Forest.
None, you think?
None. Sir God, methinks you are blind.
Blind?
Blind to the trap we can set and bait our good church in the act of stealing deer.
But they don't steal deer.
Not yet,
Then
but they will. When I tell the king,
you would lie to the king about the sisters.
really, Sir God, wars are nothing but well-placed lies designed to deceive your enemy.
But the sisters are not our enemy.
Nor are they our friends.
But they have the ear of the people.
And I have the ear of the king.
But the sisters,
Yes, what about them?
they could turn all the peasants against us.
And against the entirety of the king's soldiers, too?
It could take weeks for the king's soldiers to reach us from London. And by then, the sisters could
Our heads? Nonsense.
see, that was the peasants are banging at your door demanding.
My head? Believe me, Sir God, I do not intend to allow that to happen. Ever. And what is this? A thief in the king's forest?
No, my lord.
But you carry a staff.
All the king's subjects carry wooden staffs.
Not all, especially not the serfs who work in the farms, or a subject entering Sherwood Forest, unless you mean to do harm with that wooden staff.
I mean no harm to you,
How good to know that.
nor to anyone. I merely carry the staff to show His Majesty the King.
What?
What?
Yes, what? His Majesty the King, what?
That I can be among England's finest defenders.
Really?
I'm on my way to London now, to the King's palace. I wish to seek an audience with the King.
An audience with His Majesty. You, a serf.
I am not a serf.
You look as if you're a lowly serf.
What I look like has no bearing on what I am.
How interesting, my lord.
Robin, my lord. Robin Fitzooth of Locksley.
Robin of Locksley.
And as I was saying, I'm on my way to volunteer to serve our King.
Really?
And to show His Majesty true skill with the staff.
How bold, how courageous, and what a braggart you are.
No, my lord. A braggart speaks loudly of only that which is not true. What I speak is...
Truth, I suppose.
Truth, my lord.
Well then, if you'd be so skillful with that wooden staff, show me. Show me what you can do with that tree limb.
But, why?
Do as I say and don't question.
A rather strong command for a serf walking from Sherwood Forest.
I am not a serf.
Nor am I.
Well then, Robin, I command you.
Command! You command me. Who and what are you to command me?
Thomas Allard, Sheriff of Nottingham.
Merely a tax collector then, aren't you?
The king's representative, I am.
And I am one of the king's nobles.
Obviously not a noble close to the king, or the king would have already known of your self-proclaimed valor, your strength, at least of your boasts, and your so-called skill with that wooden staff.
I wish to serve the true king of England.
John.
Richard.
Traitor!
No, my lord. As soon as King John sees my skill with the staff, he will quickly send me to the Holy Land to fight the infidel Saracens side by side with good King Richard. Richard the Lion-Hearted.
Richard is not king.
Richard should be king, and Richard will be king, right as soon as he returns from the Crusades.
If he returns from the Crusades. Most men don't.
I will make certain that he does.
Well, until his odes return, with or without your help, knave, John is king, king all of England.
John is a tyrant who has stolen England's throne from his own brother Richard, while Richard was off courageously defending all of Christendom.
Foolish words for a nobleman, Robin Locksley.
True words, my lord sheriff. True words for any man, noble or serf.
Not only are you an impudent fool, but you're also a treasonous traitor.
I will show you, Thomas Allard, sheriff of Nottingham, who is an impudent fool speaking words of treason. It is you and your kind, my lord sheriff, my lord thieving sheriff, who are the true traitors. Traitors to King Richard. Traitors who have not only stolen a good man's throne, but robbed England's poor peasants of their hard-earned shillings, stealing the very food out of their mouths and destroying their families and their homes. It is you, Thomas Allard, the tyrant King John, who are the true traitors to all of England.
You dare call me a traitor.
I dare speak the truth.
And you dare threaten me.
My lord sheriff, it was only moments ago that you commanded me, your lowly subject, to show you my skill with this tree limb. So indeed, you shall now see true skill with the staff.
I arrest you in the name of King John.
Arrest me?
For attacking one of the king's representatives.
One of the king's thieves, you mean?
I arrest you in the name of King John. You live to regret this action, Robin of Locksley.
And you will live to regret your treasonous actions against the peasants of Nottingham.
A foolish move, a move that makes you an outlaw, to be hunted down when caught, to be put in the pillory.
Then I, Robin of Locksley, will no longer be Robin of Locksley, but instead Robin Hood. I will be the outlaw that you have made me. So take care, Sheriff of Nottingham, lest you be the one who finds himself trapped by his very own pillory.
reason why I'd like to know what this Robin Hood is like.
My lady,
Anyone the sheriff dubs an outlaw must be the most respected individual.
surely you jest.
Do I?
Well, you needn't to worry about that outlaw Robin Hood coming here, because
Oh, why is that?
I hear he only
You here?
Gossip, Lily. Rumors. I don't talk hard about Skeller and Major Kitchen Pop.
Well, what have you heard?
he lives somewhere deep inside Sherwood Forest.
The king's own forest. Impressive. He must be quite courageous.
And he's promising to help peasants.
How so?
By robbing the rich, my lady.
A novel idea.
But only in Sherwood Forest.
Only in Sherwood Forest?
Come here, come here.
Rumor says Sheriff Force is where he was dubbed an outlaw. So therefore, Sheriff Force is where he'll be an outlaw. So, my lady, he won't be bothering you here.
So that means I have to go to Sherwood Forest then. What? Oh, nothing, Cassandra. Nothing. I do hope the sheriff's ball will be exciting tomorrow evening.
Whenever you went to the bed, lady, and you got it, that becomes exciting.
She's Maid Marian Fitzwalter, a well-to-do lady from a large manor bordering Sherwood Forest, and her interest in the outlaw Robin Hood seems to be more... Well, you decide.
Have we any reports of him yet?
None, sire. It's as if he just vanished.
No man just vanishes.
Robin Hood is no ordinary man, and Sherwood Forest is huge. A man could hide in there forever and never be found.
My men will find him.
Not if he doesn't want to be found.
You doubt the skills of my men?
Not in the least. But I know the skills of Robin Hood. Rumor has it.
Rumor.
Rumor has it this for Robin of Locksley. Now the outlaw Robin Hood has collected a band of men who also lived in Sherwood Forest.
A band of men?
But surely informants among the peasants have already told you.
So some peasants are foolishly joining him, thinking they can mount some kind of crusade against the king,
Not only peasants are joining him, even some nobles.
who are obviously traitors to the king long before this Robin Hood appeared on the scene.
We've heard
More rumors.
that Robin Hood and Ben men aren't against King John,
That is a lie.
but against you.
As I said, more rumors, but let them come against me. Let all of Nottinghamshire come against me. To come against me is to come against the king, and that indeed is treason.
Which you are obviously powerless to do anything.
We shall see, Dunstan. We shall see. What, my Lord Dunstan, is this wretch's tax this harvest?
King John assesses this wretch 8 shillings.
8 shillings. I cannot possibly pay 8 shillings.
Then you'll rot in debtor's prison until you can.
But who will feed my family?
There is none of your Lord Sheriff's concern.
But my family will starve.
Let your relatives feed your family while you rot in prison.
But my relatives should just ask for a diet. They cannot possibly provide for my wife and children.
Then you are most unfortunate, a fate which I can do nothing about. King John's law says 8 shillings, and that's what your tax for the king shall be.
But
Plus 2 more shillings to your sheriff,
2 more shillings to you?
for the benefit of my protection for you and your family within Nottinghamshire.
This is robbery.
No, my wretched sir. Robin Hood is the robber. I am the law. Now pay or off to debtor's prison. $110 for King John, as his law demands.
You've done an excellent job collecting His Majesty's tax money. King John will Very, please.
So that's 50 shillings for me.
And for us?
A handsome reward for you both.
Oh, fine, sire. Thank you very much.
When you return from London.
When we... What?
Why would we be going to London?
To deliver the king's tax money.
We're delivering the king's tax money?
Who else would do it? Besides, who would suspect you two?
Suspect us of what?
That's what I just said. Who would suspect two lone travelers wandering through Sherwood Forest?
Lone travelers?
To send any of my men with you would attract attention. His attention.
But we couldn't do this. Carry the king's tax money to London, especially alone.
Would you let the king think you're disloyal?
Disloyal.
And you know the penalty for disloyalty.
The tower?
If you're fortunate. The gallows if you're not.
But not even one soldier?
Not even one soldier. You shall wander aimlessly through Sherwood Forest carrying a simple box.
And what will be in this little box?
The king's tax money, dunce.
But it's heavy.
Give that excuse to King John when you didn't deliver his tax money, because it's heavy.
And if we don't come back?
Don't come back.
From Sherwood Forest.
Don't come back. Robin Hood's a thief, not a murderer.
My Lord Sheriff,
Lady Marion, how lovely you look.
do you like it?
Anything you wear, I like.
Oh, am I interrupting some important affairs of state?
Not at all. Sir Guy and Lord Dunstan were just leaving.
Not for good, I hope.
And where is Lord Dunstan going?
London,
London?
on an errand of great importance.
But to go through London, they must go through...
Sherwood Forest. Exactly.
But Sherwood Forest, the outlaws!
Now, my pretty lady, don't you worry yourself about the outlaws in Sherwood Forest.
Well, perhaps I should go with them.
Nonsense. They will do quite finely on their own. Besides, we have important matters to discuss.
Important matters to discuss.
How to make all of our noble guests feel welcome at the ball.
Oh, guests always feel welcome in your menu, sire. I really feel that someone should go with Lord Dunstan and Sir Guy. Perhaps I could?
Lady Marion, if they were attacked by the outlaw in Sherwood Forest, what could you possibly do to protect them?
I guess you're right, my Lord Sheriff. What could I do?
And Nottinghamshire's taxes will be taken from the sheriff's manor to London later today. Robin,
Yes?
sometime today, passing through Sherwood Forest will be the sheriff's representatives, laden down with a very large and very heavy amount of tax money. Nottinghamshire's taxes.
You mean blood money stolen from the peasants of Nottinghamshire?
Not sure the sheriff would have anything?
The sheriff is a rat.
Yeah, he is a big one.
A rat who represents King John.
An even bigger rat.
Spoken like a true outlaw. Shh! Over there. A large box, could it be? Well, hello there.
Good morrow, my friends, and Godspeed to you on your way.
Godspeed to you too, sir.
Oh, you seem quite weary, my friend.
Indeed I am.
And your box seems to be quite heavy.
Its looks do not deceive you.
Well, perhaps I could be of assistance.
No.
But my friend, you seem so tired.
He will manage.
But my friend, you seem so weary. Perhaps you should stay a while. Take a rest here and show me.
No. I do not need any help.
Perhaps that if you don't have my assistance, you may not make wherever your destination might be.
No, I do not have much farther to go.
Well, then where are you going?
Not far.
Not far. Well, surely, I'm not so busy that I couldn't help my fellow man.
I do not need help, my lord.
But, my good sir, as I said before, if you do not have my help, you will not make wherever your destination is by nightfall. And you wouldn't want to be in the Sherwood Forest by nightfall. Outlaws, you know.
Yes, we know.
Then let me help you lighten your burden.
No.
My good sirs, your burden shillings your sheriff has greedily stolen from the peasants of Nottinghamshire.
I carry no shillings.
You carry no shillings. Then what, pray tell, is making your box so heavy?
Chestnuts.
Chestnuts. Yes. Gathered from throughout the forest, I presume?
Yes, my box contains chestnuts gathered from throughout the forest.
The king's chestnuts, then? Perhaps you took them to feed your poor families.
Yes, my chestnuts will keep my poor family fed.
Then you wouldn't mind telling me another poor serf just trying to keep his family fed. Where, pray tell, you got your chestnuts?
I got them under that tree.
You got them under that tree.
Yes, I got it under that tree.
You mean to tell me that you gathered chestnuts from under that tree?
Many.
Well then, my friend, not only are you a weary traveler, but you're also something of a miracle worker.
Miracle worker?
Yes, because you see, that tree, alongside all the other trees around it for as far as the eye can see, are maples. You couldn't possibly get chestnuts from maples.
Perhaps the wind blew them under that tree.
Or perhaps your box contains not chestnuts, but shillings.
No!
Shillings posing as Nottinghamshire's taxes.
No!
Then open your box.
You have no right to order me about it.
My staff orders you to open your box. As I suspected. Tell me, my friend, how was your wife going to cook these? Unlike you, I know many wives, whole villages of wives, who would be happy to cook with these. Their hard-earned shillings which first belonged to them before your cheating sheriff stole them. Treason. I, Robin Hood, will help you make your journey back to the sheriff of Nottingham much easier, and your burden much lighter.
You'll pay for this.
Perhaps, but before I do, the peasants of Nottingham will be much better fed. Now, take your box, your empty box, back to your cheating sheriff.
Insurance is exhausting.
The needy are so needy.
We need a break.
We'll be back in like 10 minutes.
See you soon.
This Robin Hood is becoming much bolder, and his boldness is helping the peasants stave off starvation just a bit longer. He must be a great hero to the peasants.
You let this outlaw rob you of the king's taxes?
You had no choice.
No choice.
Quite rude, you know.
And where were your men?
What men?
The men supposedly guarding you and the king's tax money.
You didn't send any, remember? You said we'd be much safer on our own. That we wouldn't look like we were carrying a great sum of tax. That we wouldn't attract any attention. So we went off on our own, looking like nothing joltheads strung in a large box.
Which we were.
Joltheads. How much longer are we going to let this outlaw get away with this kind of highway robbery?
Good morrow. Godspeed you on your way.
Godspeed, sire.
And, what might you be carrying today?
Nothing, sire.
Well, that purse of yours seems to be quite heavy.
Are often deceiving.
But not when the looks brand the mark of the Sheriff of Nottingham.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that you do. Give it here.
No!
Now! As I thought. Tell me, sisters, What does this purse contain?
King John's tax money.
Be gone.
So is nobody safe in Sherwood Forest?
I feel like if you were sheriff.
Cassandra, have you ever met this Robin Hood?
No, never.
Well, have you ever wanted to meet him?
He's an outlaw!
In whose eyes?
Robbed again.
He seems to know whenever someone's caved to his tax money.
Thinks they have a spy within our midst.
Have always had spies in their midst.
We shall set a trap to catch this treasonous outlaw,
Perhaps
and soon he shall be mine. A fine lesson for all Nottinghamshire.
a lesson for Nottinghamshire. Very good, my lord sheriff.
Sisters, come quickly. I collected more.
So this Robin Hood attacks all localists? Well, then I must not look like a noble lady.
If that was your trap, it didn't work.
Only the foolish say it didn't work. That man was a decoy. He carried very little of the king's tax. Actually, just enough to make the outlaw think he was robbing one of my men. But just as we speak, another one of my men is slipping through Sherwood Forest unnoticed with the lion's share of the king's tax. And that man is safe because that outlaw thinks he had already robbed one of my men. What?
Great trap, my lord sheriff.
So, to tell of this Robin Hood spread, many of the peasants and serfs wanted to join in this band in the woods. One day, a strong peasant walked in the Sherwood Forest looking for this Robin Hood.
Halt! My good sir, what is this? You must let me pass, for I'm on business. I have no time to talk with one such as you.
Perhaps your business is to take advantage of yet another poor innocent serf of Nottinghamshire.
I would just as soon take advantage of you, unless you get out of my way.
Then do! Go!
Now you will have to let me pass.
I suppose that I have no choice, but such a strong and valiant one as yourself with a skilled staff should really stay here in Sherwood Forest with me as one of my men.
As one of your men,
I am Robin of Locksley, now known as Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
The very same.
But I have been on my way here to meet you,
And so we have met.
to join you.
Welcome. But tell me, what is your name, my friend?
Well, my name doesn't matter. I am called Little John.
Well, okay then, Little John. No matter. Would you tell me, do you have any news on the scoundrel sheriff?
Only that he grows angrier every day with the likes of you. He has increased the reward leading to your capture.
Has he now?
Indeed.
Oh, your first challenger.
Much too small for me, Robin.
What a braggart you are.
Why, with one blow, I could knock this little one completely out of the forest.
Halt, stranger. What business have you in Sherwood Forest?
And what business have you stopping me?
You stop all newcomers who enter these woods.
Then indeed, you are a brute.
No stranger to these woods calls me a brute. A woman?
You're a woman?
Brilliant deduction.
A woman who has almost lost her head. Tell me, why would a lady such as yourself seek an outlaw?
Because she is a spy sent by the sheriff.
No, never!
Then what other business could you possibly have in Sherwood Forest?
Well, perhaps I want to be of help.
To an outlaw?
Yes.
But that would make you an outlaw also.
I'm not questioning. My business is none of yours. Unless you could tell me where this Robin Hood is.
Robin Hood, you say?
Yes. Or perhaps you men are the spies, and if so, you have tricked me into talking too much, and for that, I will sever your head from your shoulders.
My lady, you could no sooner sever our heads from our shoulders than you could chop down every tree here in Sherwood Forest.
But you must admit, she does have courage, Robin.
I'll admit it.
Robin? Robin Hood?
At your service, my lady. Of course, at your service, almost missing a head.
Why, you knave!
Please, my lady, don't run.
Why should I help such a fool as you?
My lady, severing my head from my shoulders was your idea. Those were your words, not mine.
Besides, you help Robin, you help all the peasants of Nottinghamshire. Unless, of course, you don't mean the words you spoke.
I would deeply regret.
King John has made a mockery of us all.
Ah, yes, of us all.
Of us all. Such easy talk for a noble lady whose kitchen pot's always full, whose kitchen oven always baking.
The peasants are not the only ones suffering from the wicked greed of King John. Us nobles are despised wherever we go.
As well you should be.
For the mere chance of our birth?
For the money and hard work you extract from us peasants.
Well, that's only some of them, and very few at that. Some of us actually care what happens to England. We realize what happens to the peasants can also happen to us. A king, after all, can harm everyone.
And he has.
Which is why I want to join you.
As a cook,
As an insider in the sheriff's household who can give you information on what has happened.
We already have such spies in the sheriff's house.
So close to the sheriff, who can come and go unquestioned.
step back. How do we even know we can trust you?
If he catches me here today, he will kill me, and you would have lost nothing.
But perhaps the sheriff sent you here today.
Unguarded?
Perhaps his men are hiding, watching our very moves this moment.
Then search. Search all of Sheriff's Forest if you like. You will find no one.
And I shall.
That is enough, Little John. I believe that she can be trusted.
But a woman outlaw?
A lady, Little John. A noble lady informant.
But what nobles can even be trusted, Robin?
She had enough courage to come here alone today, and she had enough courage to help us. She can be trusted.
Ah, you're letting this pretty face affect your judgment?
Then it is my neck that will ultimately pay for it. But just think, Little John, for once in your life, just think what an advantage it would be to have such a beautiful lady informant so close to the sheriff.
Ah, and the sheriff would let her enter Sherwood Forest whenever she has news that would be of help to us.
I'm here now.
I'm still not convinced.
Well, why do you think you're the only one who needs to be convinced? Perhaps I don't think you're an outlaw, or that you're even Robin Hood.
Pick up your staff, woman, and I'll quickly show you.
And why do you think you're the only one who needs to be of help to the peasants?
Then why have you nobles gone to the sheriff before this? On behalf of the peasants.
I'm doing what I can.
Exactly.
That's enough, Little John. I believe you, Maid
Marion.
Marion. I believe you, Maid Marion. And I welcome you to our cause. You are now an outlaw.
And you, Robin Hood, are now a fool. Her beauty has turned your head.
And looking at you, Little John, I'd say this force could use a whole lot more beauty.
And so, Marion Fulton, noble lady, became Maid Marion, the outlaw informant, even as the skunk continued his plot to rid Sherwood Forest of the courageous Robin Hood. Robin Hood's fame as the
The sheriff tried everything to capture Robin Hood, and he trusted no one, thinking everyone around him to be a spy.
I have reason to believe that you were the one who passed information of my men's last journey through Sherwood Forest to Robin Hood.
No, my lord. I swear by my own blood.
Do you deny that you know this outlaw?
How would I know such a ruthless outlaw?
Every pickle-brained serf seems to know who Robin Hood is.
And every serf seems to be in league with this outlaw. Do you know what this would mean to you? Death.
But I'm innocent.
I do not believe you.
But I have nothing to tell.
You would if you could. I know you peasants. Everyone a sluggard, everyone a thief. Everyone who is in league with this outlaw Robin Hood must be stopped.
So you've been saying for 3 years, and still he roams Sherwood Forest freely without fear, making you and King John look like helpless fools compared to his band of ragged woodsmen.
King John must not look the fool.
Then you must do something to lead these lawless men to justice. Now.
There's only one form of justice here.
And what may that be, Thomas?
Lady Marian, how lovely to see you again.
I see you've been talking about your arch enemy once again.
Robin Hood is more than my arch enemy. He's an arrogant, foolish rogue who uses the likes of these peasants to spy on me.
So you've been saying for so long.
Too long.
Silence!
But what my Lord Dunstan's saying is true. This thieving rogue has been allowed to wander throughout Sherwood Forest just waiting for your next action. I'm sorry, my Lord Sheriff, but there will always be spies.
Such as this idiot whose head will soon be looking for a body?
But surely, my Lord Sheriff is much too smart to have a house full of spies.
You would think so. But who knows what scullery maid, what banquet footman has eyes and ears in the back of his or her head, and a tongue that wags too freely beyond these walls?
But, Thomas, surely no scullery maid or banquet footman is privy to his affairs estate.
She's right.
At times, the very tapestries on these walls seem to have ears.
No, no, my Lord Sheriff. Your spy needs to be crafty enough to fool you. He needs to be someone who is always by your side. Someone who knows your every move. Someone shrewd enough to fool you. Someone like...
Them! Us! Yes, you. You're always with me and you know my every move.
But my Lord Sheriff, I'm not shrewd enough to fool you any of the time, ever.
At times, my Lord Dunstan, you speak words so true, even the sisters of Hereford would be inspired. The sisters of Hereford, yes, why did I think of them before?
But of course no sister of the church will commit such a treasonous act.
You do not know the sisters of Hereford.
But of course I do. They often visit my manor and bring holy communion to those who are sick and ill within our household.
They do, but they also wander about freely, speaking both noblemen and peasants. Who would suspect them as being traitors to King John?
Certainly I wouldn't.
I shall have the sisters arrested at once,
Arrested?
as the traitors they are.
And what of this poor wretch?
I don't know, execute them.
Execute him on what charge?
He's a serf, therefore he wants to outlaw Robin Hood.
But I'm innocent.
Tell that to the executioner.
Ah!
Hey, Marion. Foolish of you to come here at night.
I had to come, Robin.
What could be of such urgency?
The sheriff is executing an innocent serf tomorrow.
As he does often. And what is this poor serf's crime?
On charges of being a spy in the sheriff's household.
One believed the sheriff. I would have spies everywhere.
Please, Robin, you must do something. You cannot let this innocent man be executed.
Especially for being spy for me. She is not.
Please. Robin, he has a wife and 5 children. Little ones.
Brazenness of this sheriff. He thinks he can take away a man's life for no just cause. But he does take his cue from the tyrant King John, who sent many an innocent serf to the pillory.
Please. Robin, you must not let this innocent man be executed.
There's little we can do, Maid Marian.
No, I will not believe that.
You would have us leave the safety of Sherwood Forest?
And you would let an innocent man perish!
For what is one man when Robin has helped hundreds?
And what of that one man about to be executed were you, Little John? And what are we? Children? Playing games in the forest? Or men? Brave enough to right the most evil of wrongs?
Marion is right, Little John. We must do something to save that poor serf's life.
But what?
And there's something more.
Another execution?
The sheriff has issued for the sisters of Hereford to be arrested
The sisters? Arrested?
on charges of being a spy for you and a traitor to King John.
And not only must we save that poor serf's life, but we also must warn the sisters. Little John, you ride to Nottinghamshire at once and warn the church. Marion and I have devised a plan to save that poor serf's life. Quickly, we waste good time.
Quite a dangerous thing, those pillories, and used all too often by the likes of King John and the Sheriff of Nottingham to scare their subjects into loyalty. As if stretching the necks, it is concerned for anything from more disdain to their law.
You see, both King John, who had deviously stolen the throne from his own brother, good Prince Richard, who is now off fighting in the Crusades, and the Sheriff of Nottingham each year became richer by stealing from the King's treasury and fatter by eating the King's deer, had enemies, so everyone deserved this.
People of Nottingham, standing before you this day is yet another who dared consort with the outlaw Robin Hood. May this wretch's execution be a warning to any of you who dare stand in the way of bringing this outlaw to justice. Executioner, do your job. And to you, poor wretch, may God have mercy on your soul.
Robin!
Praise God!
Here, Robin! Hey, Marion! Now!
And so goes the legend of Robin Hood, valiant bowman who, through his adventures in Sherwood Forest, became an outlaw and helped England's poor peasants and serfs survive, well, century England. Now, sister, I would never suggest that robbery is ever right, but as a troubadour of sorts, a balladeer, I will ever sing the exploits of this Robin Hood, so that future generations will always know that once, in Sherwood Forest, there was a man who dared stand up against the evilest of tyrants, and in doing so helped thousands. May I someday do the same. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you how I met this Robin Hood. But that is a delightful tale. Better left to another time and another place. Until then, good morrow and Godspeed to you.
of Robin Hood. I would love to thank our lights and sound, our tech crew, and our actors for making this show come to life. But especially, I would love to thank Mrs. Hickey and Miss McHouston, our two directors. They have spent countless hours on the show, making it the best, and it really paid off. I would like to welcome Mrs. Hickey and Miss McHouston to the stage. So Connor and I have a fun little surprise for them, and we got them over there, so I'm just gonna wait. Come on, guys. Thank you both for being the most wonderful directors, and y'all are really amazing, so much. Like, y'all really helped us through the show, and it's just, we love y'all so much. Y'all are amazing. And this is the last show this school year, working with y'all, but I'll get to be with y'all next year, and Connor and all of us on stage, and we are all so happy to be working with y'all again. And especially, we would love to thank our seniors, Brian, Josie, and Nick, for helping this show and staying with us for long. So, Nick and Brian, can you come to the stage, please?
Pick up the pace a little bit, no rush. Super quick.
Come on, guys. All right. So, there's a tradition that we do for the seniors, the stage kiss. So, go ahead. Thank you guys so much for helping us. And, sorry. And thanks again for any parents that help with food or backstage work, and our directors once more. So, if you would like to take the magic of Robin Hood home, a QR code to purchase the Deluxe DVD can be found inside Playbill. Deluxe, yep. Thank you all again for coming, and drive home safe. Good night.